Holy shit, it is time. You saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. I don't need to introduce it, really. The Uncharted builds are releasing. Well, they have released right now. They're in the description. You can go download them on archive.org. I would like to talk about them a little bit. There are 3 builds of Uncharted Drake's Fortune that are releasing, and they cover 3 quite significant periods of this game's development, and those 3 builds are all of the working builds that I have of this game. The earliest build is from May of 2007. It's an internal build, which basically means it's not meant to be in the hands of the public. Oops. And it is the first time that the public ever saw gameplay from Uncharted was from this build. It was shown off in an event that Sony held called Gamers Day. It was played on stage by Evan Wells, who is to this day still the co-president of Naughty Dog. And it is quite different to the retail game. You've got different animations, different UI, different sound effects. You've got these ammo boxes that they scrapped from the retail game. You've got a sprint functionality. If you hold down circle, Drake will sprint. They took that out. The shooting feels weird. You've got a red reticle. The whole bunch of unfinished stuff. There's only a small portion of the game you can play in this build, but it's still pretty cool. The second build is from 2 months after that. It's from E3 2007. Once again played. I don't know if it was played on stage, but certainly they had on the show floor they had little booths where you could play parts of the game, and there's 3 levels you can select in this build, and it's from pretty much the same kind of chapter 4, chapter 5 of the game, and it is a little bit closer to retail. They've changed the UI again. You've still got the ammo boxes, you can still sprint, it still feels kind of weird to run around. That is the E3 build, and then the last one is the preview build. Now this was from October 2007, from very early October. It's very close to the retail game. Mostly is the same. There are a few differences, mainly in the menus. A whole bunch of unfinished text and menu options that don't work properly, as well as a option in the bonus menu where you can turn on no texture mode. It's a scrapped mode that they took out from the retail game, and I can see why, because it sucks. It turns off the textures, it also removes everybody's hair, and it tanks the frame rate. It's a weird inclusion, I see why they took it out. But that is in that build. That's the kind of brief rundown on each build. You can go to the pages in the description and read a little bit more about them, or you can download them and play them yourself. The reason why these are being released is because they should be. This year marks 15 years since Uncharted 1 released, which is insane. And I thought 15 years, that's a pretty good time to release them. I was going to release them on the actual exact day, but this has taken a bit of time. Now, any of you who are bored at this point can just skip, because I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth here. Some of you might remember, back in 2019, I already uploaded footage of these builds. That's when I first got them. I never actually owned the physical discs that these builds came on. I was sent the data from them. And it was enough that you could play, but from a preservation point of view, it wasn't very great. There were all the file dates were incorrect. There was metadata missing. Again, it was playable, but I wasn't really all that happy with the state that it was given to me in. Well, given to me, I paid for them a lot of money, but you know, still. And I hope that one day I would get a chance to get the person who owned the actual discs to re-dump them in a better format. I didn't think it would take 3 years, but it has, because I was gone for a bunch of time, and then it took time to get in touch with this person again, and blah blah blah. The point is, I'm recording this on the 22nd of December. I only got sent these builds 3 days ago, and I actually uploaded them yesterday. So the point is that these are now in pretty much as good of a format as you can get them. They are the raw ISO of the disc itself. You can't get a better copy than that. because they are the raw ISO, they are encrypted. Again, I cover this in the archive.org description. You can download some tools to decrypt them, or if you have a dev kit or a test kit, you could just directly burn it onto a disk and play it. But I'm sure if you have a dev kit or a test kit, you probably already know that. I think that is pretty much it. Speaking on the topic that I briefly went over, these did cost me a lot of money, especially since I had to pay for them back in 2019, and I had to pay the person again to dump them for a second time last week. And when it went into the 4 figures, I did start to sweat a bit for the total cost over the 3 years. For anybody that wants to help me kind of recoup a little bit of that money, which I guess is probably not many people, on my channel page there is actually a little donate button up in the top right, a little PayPal link. Anything would help, of course. I'm not expecting it. It is not mandatory at all. And if you cannot donate or don't want to, look, seriously, don't worry about it. It's just there in case anybody wants to help me out, because this is expensive doing this, I'm not going to lie. There's not an awful lot of people who have builds like these. The person who had these is the only person I've ever seen with this stuff, so it is quite a tricky thing for negotiations. Other than that, of course, when you're watching this, it is Christmas, so I hope you have a Merry Christmas. And I will probably see you at some point in the new year. I might do more videos of these builds now that they're out there and people are going to have a bit more eyes on them. And yeah, most importantly, have fun. Download them. You can re-upload them on other sites if you want. I can't stop you. But yeah, have fun. And like I said, Merry Christmas. Goodbye.